Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb Williams, is our expert host, Mr. Vincent Turner. How's it going, man?
Hey man, how you doing this wonderful morning?
Doing really well, man. How are you?
Hey, I cannot complain today. It's always a great day to get up and be able to look at the sky and be able to have a smile on your face.
Absolutely, man. Well, tell us, all of our viewers and everyone's been wondering exactly what is it that we have to look forward to out of this young man, and is it all about now that he has been the Heisman Trophy winner? So tell us, Vincent, will you break it down and let us know what exactly is so amazing and unique about this young man?
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get to the points today. It's been a lot of great college football players that's played this game at a high level, especially in my 62 years of being on the face of this earth. And I can remember my first hero, and I keep telling everybody, and they even said it on this platform, is back November 18th, 1967, and seeing a young man from Galileo High School, by the way of San Francisco, O.J. Simpson, making a phenomenal 64-yard touchdown run. And I was 7 years old at the time. But what stuck out in my mind when O.J. made that run was just the excitement at 7 years old in L.A., the Memorial Coliseum. And think about what happened this past Saturday night. There's another young man that's attending USC that won the Heisman Trophy. But I'm going to start with Caleb Williams now, since I brought up OJ. Think about this young man. He's from Washington, D.C.
Yep.
We really don't never think about football players coming out of D.C. We think about basketball players that's from that area like Kevin Durant, Adrian Dantley. But who would ever think of a guy that's coming out of the area and think football is played at a high level up in the D.C. area? Then you think about the other great phenomenal athletes and entertainers, Marvin Gaye, Duke Ellington. You see what I'm saying? Maury Wills in baseball. Then you want to throw Elgin Baylor, Sean Marion. So when you look at D.C., you look at the capital where our presidents reside, but you never think that they would do something special that they did on Saturday night. Now, my first knowledge of Caleb Williams was, of course, in his freshman year at Oklahoma. He went there, became a backup quarterback to a guy everybody said was going to be a potential first-round pick in Spencer Rattler. Well, Oklahoma struggled out of the gates. And Oklahoma, in that annual rivalry game against Texas, was down 35-17. But the head coach out of Lubbock, Texas, Lincoln Riley, knew he had something special. And he put this young man in. Think about this, Jeremiah. Last year, a true freshman, Oklahoma down 35-17, and he put this young man in. And the young man, first couple of plays, he goes 70 yards. And I said, you know what? This young man's special. Spencer Rattler will never get his job back. And we know what Spencer Rattler's at right now. He's at South Carolina. Then I started following him throughout the season. He ended his freshman year at Oklahoma, 21 touchdowns, total of 27 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Led Oklahoma to a 10-2 record. But the game that stuck out the most to me was that last game, the rivalry game against Oklahoma State to play in the Big 12 championship. He was sacked 7 times in that game. But in the fourth quarter, he made a phenomenal 56-yard run. I said, you know what? This young man next year at Oklahoma is going to be very special. But things changed. His coach left Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley, and went out to USC. I said, oh my God, California, Yay, the city of Compton, the city of angels, Death Row, Tupac, John Wayne, and to the most phenomenal. When football is good at USC, college football is at another level. Think about it. The former Heisman winners, from Mike Garrett, the O.J. Simpson, the Charles White, the Marcus Allen, the Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush. this young man has stepped on the same stage as all those other great players that's played at that great school out there in Los Angeles, California. Home of Hollywood, the Lakers, Kobe, Magic, Shaquille O'Neal. Think about this. Last year, USC goes, I believe, 4-8. They have a losing record. Claude Hilton is fired. Lincoln Riley now is the head coach. The pressure to restore their Trojans program back to Providence. And they go one game from getting to the college playoffs under this young man. 4,000 yards this year, 37 touchdowns, 4 INTs, 6 touchdowns on the ground. Now 10 touchdowns on the ground. And if you watch them play, I did not see him have one bad game except Oregon State. But he did everything you need to do to be a special player at that level. What I mean by that, look at the skill set. The games I watched on, the foot quickness was A+. That FBI, the football intelligence, is A+. His ability to rise his team to another level, A+. And the escapability, A+. But most of all, what I think, and I wouldn't be surprised, is his instincts. What I mean about that, he's a guy that can feel pressure, Jeremiah. A guy that can feel the defense and make throws on a dime with his body contort. There's been a lot of great players on the college level, and it's been a lot of great players that's played in the National Football League. It's no doubt he's going to be the number 1 pick in next year's NFL draft by injury. But when I think about him, and I think about him, the school he played at, and remember, I'm a big USC fan. And remember, like I said, I started really courting when I was 7 years old in the house of Inez and Chester Turner with 3 lovely sisters, Bridget, Rhonda, Stephanie, and they watching their brother. They was toddlers at the time. I'm running around, and I'm looking at that color right there. I'm looking at O.J. Simpson. And this young man has stepped in the royalty of an O.J. Simpson at USC, a Mike Garrett, a Frank Gifford, a Sam the Bam Cunningham, a Richard Wood, a Reggie Bush, a Matt Leinart, a Anthony Davis, San Fernando, California, a Lynn Swan, a Keyshawn Johnson, a C.R. Roberts, a Ron Mix, a Ron Yeri, the Matthews, Bruce, Clay Jr., Ronnie Lott, Dennis Smith, Dennis Thurman, Mark Carrier. I'm sorry I left any other great Trojan players out. But this young man did something that is unbelievable. He's went to a program in 2022, and now he's the star of college football. And you know, Jeremiah, when you look at the great past, I want to say scenarios that's happened in USC football over the years. And I go back to O.J. Simpson, November 18th, 1967, that great 64-yard touchdown run. Then I go back to Anthony Davis scoring 4 touchdowns in 1974 when USC was down 24-0 to Notre Dame. Then I think about when I was an 18-year-old freshman up in Fayetteville, Arkansas, watching the Trojans going to Birmingham, Alabama, which is 2 hours down the road, and Charles White going for 199 yards. Then I think about Marcus Allen, my senior year on the hill in Fayetteville, Arkansas in 1981, becoming the first back to go over 2,000 yards running for the USC Trojans. Then I think about C.R. Roberts, 1955, 255 yards against Texas, against every obstacle. And then Matt Leinart in the Orange Bowl, January the 4th, 2005, throwing for 338 yards and 4 touchdowns. USC punished Oklahoma 55-19. And then I think about this young man, his moment as a Trojan this year, about 3 weeks ago against UCLA, the rivalry game, 32 of 43, 470 yards, 3 touchdowns. The star has been born. I've seen a lot of great college football players. You have Jeremiah, we're from the great state of Tennessee. But when you look at this young man, and now everybody talks about Patrick Mahomes as being that number one guy in the NFL. One thing, the media's got it right. This young man is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes and maybe the next best thing in college football. I hope, me personally, I can live another 20 years to watch him play. And when you think about him, this was really makes me proud today. And I don't want to offend nobody. But he's an African American. And if you saw the ceremony on Saturday night, if it didn't send chill bumps through his speech and seeing this beautiful mother crying and the proudness of his daddy, it makes you feel proud. Not because he's a USC Trojan, because he's an African American. Andrew Dickey, 1966, Tennessee State University. Doug Williams, Super Bowl champion at Grambling University. Tony Robinson, University of Tennessee, 1985. Michael Vick. Roy Moon, University of Washington. Reggie Collier, Southern Mississippi. Andre Ware, University of Houston. I'm sorry if I left anybody out. Condra Holloway at Tennessee. It made you feel proud, man. It made you feel proud. In my final words, as I wrap it up on Caleb Williams, I like these words at the podium. They say you either change your dreams or you change your habits. I damn sure wasn't going to change my dreams. That's deep. That's something that's going on in our lives right now, me and Jeremiah, Vincent Turner, Jeremiah Long, Ronnie Keebler, Bobby Butler. The young man said, one more time, they say you either change your dreams or you change your habits. I damn sure we're going to change my dreams. So the only thing I can think about Caleb Williams, as I wrap it up here today on 100 Yards of Football, is that this young man, and I've watched a lot of great football players and played this game at a high level. Some of them have made me get up out of my seats. And I'm going to even say this, athletes. I'm going to go back, I'm going to take the football player equation, I'm going to say athletes. There's one athlete, when I was growing up, I was 4 years old, sitting around on the house I grew up in, Kerr Avenue, and watching my dad, Chester Turner, who's still living today. I love you, man. 85 years old. And some of my uncles were around, Opie Turner. I love you, man. Who's 80 years old in Memphis, Tennessee. And I was running around, little boy, big buck teeth, like a little beaver, and running around in the house. And I didn't understand all this commotion. We had a black and white TV. It was a young man from Louisville, Kentucky, who won the World Heavyweight Championship that night and made every black individual in the sports world proud. That handsome Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali out of Louisville, Kentucky. And I remember the key words he said, Jeremiah. I shocked the world. I shocked the world. You know what? I have this same feeling about this young man here, Caleb Williams. I wouldn't be surprised if he beats the next Muhammad Ali of the NFL. So my final words, the young man is not from the South. He's not from California. He's not from Texas. He's a football player at a high level from D.C. So, giving it back to you, Jeremiah, the only thing I can think about Caleb Williams from Washington, D.C., like the great Marvin Gaye. Caleb Williams transferring to Oklahoma to USC. He got it on!
You say that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know something, Vincent, every week, the reason we get on every morning and we go so hard in the paint every single week about football is for these moments. So thank you so much for that really amazing breakdown of Caleb Williams. And for everyone watching from home or listening to our podcast, we want to hear from you as well. Please let us know in the comments over on Facebook and over on LinkedIn and over on YouTube. What do you think about Caleb Williams winning the Heisman? What do you think is going to happen in the end of this particular football season? And what do you think is going to happen next season? So please put that in the comments. And if you're not listening to our podcast, come and join us. Our podcast is 100 Yards of Football. You can listen on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, or anywhere that you listen to podcasts, including Google Podcast, Amazon, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and more. So anywhere that you love listening to audio online, you can find us, 100 Yards of Football. Well, again, thank you so much, Vincent, for that great breakdown of our dude, Caleb Williams, who is the Heisman Trophy winner for 2022. And I am your producer, Jeremiah Long. We'll be right back with another live episode. Stay tuned.